but you will hear song by song that they improve and that they build up on the previous songs.
Now it's all just a memory.
Hey guys, welcome to the studio, welcome to the vlog. Today is Sunday, a chilled Sunday. It's just me here in the studio, no one else, no business stuff, just me sitting here making new music. As you know, my song Who Are We is all done, cover checked, did that yesterday. Now just waiting for the mastering. If you're interested, I will go to the mastering guy probably this week. So don't forget to tune in if you want to know everything about mastering. And whenever one song is done, it's just time to do the next one. So we'll concentrate, focus on that, play a little bit around. Always when I start a new song, I try to make it a little bit different, but trying to make it different takes a little bit of time because you have just to find your way and just make something that kind of works, but still is something new. And usually on these days, I screw up a lot and that's not really interesting. So I won't share my working process as usually. We'll just do a classic, simple edition of track submits. So welcome to Track Submits, the little segment within my daily vlog where I listen to your music, give you feedback. If you're interested, the first link in the description, just send me your song and it will end up here. I will give you feedback as well as the entire community. The first song for today is by Prophet X Music and it's called Nightlife. Good song. I like the bass, I like the drums, so the bottom part of the song is all finished, all done, which is actually the hardest to get right. I'm just not a big fan of the main synthesizer sound. The melody is fine and okay for this style of music, but I think it could be way more interesting. Maybe layer it a little bit, play around with a synthesizer, automate it, just make it more interesting, because it's like the main sound of the song. You don't have any vocals in there, so you really need to nail that to just make something that can compete with all of these other songs that sound quite similar. So just really the main sound, 2 or 3 more hours playing around with it, trying to just make it fatter, more interesting, a little layer here and there, some effects, and you got something that is definitely very close to being ready to be released on a label. Second track, Horizon by Chord. It's also a cool song and I see almost the same problems as with the first one. Kick, bass, like the foundation of the song, it's all there, arrangement is good, the understanding for the style. It's again the main sound, here in this case chords that could just sound a little nicer. It's really hard to describe. It's something you will have to learn over the years because your sound selection is right after making it musically interesting the most important. So first have nice chords, a nice melody, and then the right sounds. The sounds really are so important in electronic dance music. You can have the nicest melodies, the best singing, but if the sounds just sound really cheap, like presets, the first ones you open up the synthesizer, it's not going to work. You need to work on the details of the sounds and sound design them a little bit. There's nothing wrong going through presets and selecting a preset that is close to what you have in mind and what fits to the song, but then maybe layer it with something else. For example, these chords, they could need a little bit more attack to be more interesting on the first transient. So maybe choose a pluggy synthesizer that plays just like at the very beginning on top of that, mix that slightly in. Or sometimes sounds that might not fit at all to your song, if you just layer them to your main sound, it makes it more interesting. So don't be afraid of making like disgusting synthesizer sounds. They sometimes work. Just for example, my Stay song. like a ballad house, deep house kind of song. And I finished it, and then I just felt like it's a little like boring. It's just like a nice voice, nice chords. It's all too nice, too pretty. So I decided to try and find a synthesizer that just sounds ugly, that actually doesn't fit into that song. And somehow it helps to make the song round and more rememberable and more interesting. So yeah, don't be afraid of just making stuff that isn't that pretty. This song by Jason Watson called Deva Devi is, yeah, again, actually same problem. Kick, bass is okay, not as good as with the first two songs, but here again I hear so many sounds that I've heard so many times, so that arpeggiator sound way overused, and it just sounds like the arpeggiator from like a synthesizer that you just press one button and it does the arpeggiator for you. It doesn't really do the track good. It doesn't fit with other melodies that good. And again, it's just a little boring, because in electronic dance music, the kick and the bass usually is not that exciting. You have a sub bass that just fills out the bottom end, you have a kick that gives you the 4 to the floor beat, and then it's all about the rest of the sounds. And if they're weak, you don't really have a track that is in any way, shape or form interesting. So again here, maybe try to play the arpeggiator yourself. You got way more freedom. You then can maybe layer it with a guitar. This usually sounds really nice if you have like a muted guitar on top of your arpeggiators. I do that quite a lot, actually almost on every single song. Don't be afraid of like maybe field recording something, putting that into your track to have something in there that is a little bit more complex, because if your song's just kick, bass, main synthesizer, that's not enough. I mean, yes, if it's empty, it's easier to mix and it sounds fatter, but it's not complex. To make it richer, just implement sounds in there, subtle sounds, layers of sounds, maybe let them fade in and out so that there's a little bit of movement in the song. There are a lot of things you can do to improve your song without adding like main sounds to your song. Like, yes, you need to get that right, main sound, kick, bass, but then go for the subtle details to sound more professional and have a song that sounds way more finished and well thought out. This one by Cabo Tara does it already a little bit better. Here we got a synthesizer that sounds a little bit more interesting. I mean, yes, it's still like a standard big room EDM kind of sound, but it sounds a little bit more professional than the other songs. It's still not like outstanding or interesting or really fat, but definitely like playable. Someone could actually play that in a club. So yeah, let me know what you think about this entire topic of like having strong synthesizer main sounds. Make them as good as possible. I know a lot of people are struggling, so maybe I will do a video about how to actually get there and try to get there. But it's usually going through a million presets, and not only just for that one song, doing that over years and collecting your sounds that are yours, combining them, and this way advance from song to song. A lot of people just see their one song as the project and try to make that as good as possible, but that's not like the goal is not to make this one perfect song and have a huge hit. The goal is to learn to produce music over the years. It might actually take 5-6 years until you got your sounds kind of together that define your style, and then you develop that a little bit here and there from year to year and get a tiny bit better. Just go back to old songs of some people that you admire. They will sound probably like shit, but you will hear song by song that they improve and that they build up on the previous songs. So you basically have to do the same. Make a song, finish it. If you find a cool sound, reuse it, change it a little, make it even better, and then just work your way up. And eventually you will have a good song that you then can send out to labels.
Pretending that we need it Others I felt as you're walking away from me. Now it's all just a memory.